Isaiah chapter 5, verse 7, God says this. He says, "The vineyard of the Lord Almighty is the nation of Israel," that's everyone, "but the men of Judah are the garden of his delight." Now, for all of you green thumbs in the audience, if you're a gardener, your flowers, your vegetables, those are your prized things. Those are the things that you go to, that you take care of, you tend to, and those even minister back to you. Well, if you're God and you're looking at a place to go to see sort of your trophies, God goes to his garden, he sees everybody, but then there's that father-son thing. And for those of you in the audience who are fathers, or those of you who are sons, you get this connection that sons are for fathers the twice-told story. The best in us wants to be reproduced, and the best in them. The girls are like diamonds. They are cherished. They're to be protected. But when it comes to father-son relationships, there's something about a generational pass down. We worry about things in us that we could pass on to our sons. And so the Bible tells us that God delights in his men. And so that's what I want to start off saying. I'm excited because God is excited. He says the men of Judah, his boys, are the garden of his delight. It's a place where he goes to look, to see the best in him reproduced. And then the verse goes on, and it says, he looked for righteousness, but saw bloodshed. He looked for justice, but heard cries of distress. And so you see that not only does God love his boys, but he's tracking their character. He's tracking what's inside of them and how that is coming out in character and conduct. And we see at that time, for that context in the Bible, the men surrounding Isaiah, God was tracking, God was looking, but what was coming out was negative. It was cries of distress. And so you see in men's ministry that there's this blast zone of influence that we have as men that goes to our wives, that goes to our children, that goes to our neighbors, that goes to our community. And it all goes back to what's inside of us. But you see God's heart for his sons in that passage of Scripture. And when you see his heart, you see a great excitement. And that's really why I'm excited.